Once again, we have another public domain movie that's considered a horror classic, similar to the praise that's given to Nosferatu or Night of the Living Dead. This one, released in 1962, is titled Carnival of Souls, and with that title, you get exactly that. There is, in fact, a carnival filled with souls. This one is directed by Herc Harvey, who made a ton of different educational movies for the company Centron, but this is the one feature film he ever made. It's weird to think that this guy technically was a one-and-done type, and it's really too bad, seeing that this really is a masterpiece of cinematography done by Maurice Prather. It takes no time getting started, as a race down the road causes a car to collapse over the bridge into the river, yet Mary Henry is able to mysteriously survive. We learn more about her over time, finding out that she's a church organist who is now moving to a different church in Utah. The town seems accepting enough, the priest is kind, the landlady is welcoming, but there is also a creepy pervert who lives next door, but even he doesn't seem to be much trouble at first. As we go along though, we realize that there's obviously something more strange going on, especially since our main character keeps seeing visions of a startling ghost of some sort, who's portrayed by the director himself. This drives Mary Henry into a crisis, and with that, we have the only semblance of a plot. There's not really a main direction that everything is going in, but you're led to think up different theories about what happened to Mary Henry. One obvious theory that you probably will think of right away is that she's dead, and I mostly thought of this because I've seen it done multiple times now in different features. The strange thing about the climax is that we never really get a clear idea of what happened, or what Mary Henry is seeing. Everything is left in this state of dreary atmosphere. The movie actually incorporates really effective jump scares, since we never know the true origin or mythology of this ghost character, and it seems to show up at the most random of times. There's moments where you think Mary Henry has lost all sense of reality, but then other moments seem to reassure you that she's just going through a rough patch, seeing that she almost nearly died in a car accident. There's times when everything goes silent, besides for Mary's voice and footsteps, and that's when I get memories of silent films in my head, which this seems to be recreating. The visual chills that were delivered in the John Barrymore, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This has that same kind of elusive tone, where the nightmare and reality collide. I will say that I'm not too big of a fan of movies like this. I'm okay with events going unexplained, but since the ending does drive the so-called plot to an obvious conclusion, it did ruin the element of surprise. Even without that, I don't feel that Mary Henry is really a character that I can latch onto. She's in a state of fear and paranoia, but that doesn't make me really care for her. Everything that's happening is creepy, but that seems to be it. I'm sure there's some connections to religion and sexism, and I definitely could conjure up something from what I saw and make these connections, but I simply don't care enough to do that. It didn't really pull me in emotionally, but it did get me excited with its excellent cinematography. It really is a beautiful thing to watch, especially for the budget. It's on this Tales of Terror box set, but I actually went ahead and bought the Criterion Collection Blu-ray, which has a nearly perfect transfer, and just for the look of it, I'll be wanting to revisit it. Thank you for watching the video. A special thanks to Chris, Lucas, and Ryan for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd like to be like them and get exclusive access to content and blogs, and even request reviews monthly, please click on the Patreon link, and thanks for your support.
That man!
I didn't mean any harm. I just stopped to get a drink.
No. No.